Jonathan. Sorry. Saying. That's where the Holy Presence is not.
I know it's a pain in the neck, but please wear the name tags because you'll really help Mr. Durkin out when he doesn't want to say, hey Joe, hey Mac, you know, he can get your name and you can help him if he doesn't say your name the right way. Okay?
Alright guys, just to start off real quick, can you guys hand up your homework from yesterday?
Some people handed it in yesterday.
Okay. If you haven't,
Anybody have it from today?
So, do now, we're going to have, on this sheet, you just write your name down and write one example of geography. So who knows what geography is before we answer? Yes.
The study of the earth.
Okay, yep. So what does that mean, really?
When you're studying how mountains are made, how much water is in the earth, how much land is there,
Anyone?
how many continents,
Yeah, exactly.
how old the earth is.
Okay, yeah. Okay, how deep the water is? Okay. So that's to do now. Just write your name at the top. Oh, yes.
Landforms and masses on the earth.
Okay, yeah, exactly. So write down your example on this, the front of the index card with your name at the top, and keep this index card because we're going to have use the exit activity. And if we get through everything, there's going to be no homework this week. You guys are up to it. So I'm going to give you guys a couple minutes to think of an example of geography, and then we can talk.
One more question. We're missing Brian, Laura, and Hansel. Yeah.
Alright, so I have a volunteer of who wants to give me an example. Yep.
An example is in limestone, not like a big landform.
Okay. Someone else? Yes.
I wrote island, cliff, or peninsula.
Okay. Awesome. Anyone else? Yes.
Study of Earth.
Study of Earth. Okay. One more. Okay. So it's pretty much anything that has to do with the Earth, really. So like mountains, oceans, believe it or not, states, the dividing line, population, right? So we're gonna move on. So what I handed out is kind of a note-taking guide. So just follow along and fill in the blanks as we move on. So what is geography? Geography is the study of Earth's physical features, atmosphere, and human activity. There's 5, yes?
I would get.
Oh, you didn't know it? There's 5 different kinds of geography: location, place, human environment, interactions, movement, and regions. I know location and place kind of seem the same, but location is either the exact point on Earth down to the degrees, so latitude and longitude, and relative. So it's either to the left, right, up, down, northeast, southwest. Place has its physical characteristics. So is it a desert? Is it a warm climate? Human environmental interactions shaping the landscape. So believe it or not, the beaches on Long Island were shaped because of us. We brought all that sand onto the beach and made it higher. Movement, telecommunication or by ship. Can anybody give me another example of movement besides telecommunication? Yes, Jeff? Trains? Okay, that's one. One more? Yeah. Boats? Perfect. Yes. Okay, not exactly what we're looking for, more of like human movement, like how we travel around. Yes.
Cars.
Cars, awesome. Yep.
Plane.
Planes, perfect. One more.
Bicycle.
Bicycle. Oh, we got another? Yep.
Skateboard.
Skateboards, that's one. Yes.
Rockets.
Rocks.
Rockets.
Rockets. Oh, I'm sorry. Yep, that's one. And regions. Oh, I'm sorry. This is the desert. So as you guys are finishing up, today we're going to talk about how geography shaped and played a role in the American Revolution. We learned about hope and grit the past 2 days, and believe it or not, hope and grit can be affected by geography. So we'll give you guys 1 more minute to copy this down. If you guys need more time, that's fine.
Give them a minute, it takes longer for them to write than you think.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm like, no, everyone, single person thinks I could just say write it down and it will go.
Yep.
It takes way longer than you talk about. Even to write a word, it's not instant. So, like, before you teach, this is what we're testing knowledge. So, do you think there's any type of geography could they affect your whole it's all about, maybe you give an example. Even how far it was. You can hear it. Okay. When you guys are done, just look up at Mr. Durkin and give him a head nod. He'll know you're done. Otherwise, he'll leave you behind.
So Mr. Sheehan brought up a great point of how geography can affect what we live in your everyday lives. So for example, for me, I play lacrosse. So when it's February and there's 3 feet of snow and we still have to practice, my hope and grit is a little low, but you know, I'm still a little hopeful. So can I get a volunteer of how, you know, geography may, yeah.
Same thing. So I played soccer, and so we had a tournament once for like the academy I went to, Juventus, and we had to play on a small mountain, and it was like almost under zero.
It's horrible, right?
And we still had to play, and I thought we were gonna like suffer and not do well, but we didn't do so good or so bad. We did like kind of good.
Yeah, it's an average, right? So at the point, you're kind of thinking like, why am I here? But you know why. It's a lot of fun and fun sport. So one more. No, that's fine. Alright, so just give me a head now when you guys are finished.
Okay, I think you can go.
Alright, so how did geography affect the American Revolution? So we're gonna start off with the Battle of Saratoga. And the Battle of Saratoga happened because it was a British plan to divide the colonies into two. So the plan was General John Burgoyne would travel from Canada to Albany and meet an army led by General Howe's, cutting the colonies in two. General Howe's is traveling from New York City in the south, travels north to Albany, and that's where the two armies will meet to cut off the colonies. And as we go along, just fill in the blanks as they're on the paper. If you guys have a question, just raise your hand and we can slow down and go back. So I believe the first blank is General John Burgoyne, right? Traveling from Albany, led by House. Yes?
On the packet, it's not like right there. It's not fully there. It says where we will meet up with another army traveling from.
Oh, I'm sorry, from New York City. Traveling from New York City. Does anybody need help spelling New York City? No? So moving on. Native American tribes helped the British navigate through the dense forests that were 5 times larger than all of England. So their home country is 5 times smaller than the dense forests of America. 5 times larger than England. The Americans used a tactic called guerrilla warfare to ambush the British and retreat suddenly.
Mr. Durkin, I think they might know that. Do you guys know guerrilla warfare?
Yes.
It's when you're not doing hand-to-hand combat, you're like hiding and then you sneak up on them.
Exactly. Right?
Like, and there'll be bush campers and tree campers.
Okay. Yeah, it's a hit and run tactic, right, guys? And on the back of your packets, is a little vocabulary sheet. If you want to rip it off, it's going to help you out. So they use guerrilla warfare to ambush the British and retreat suddenly. So it's a hit and run tactic, not traditional warfare. You don't have to write this down, but the British were trained to fight in open fields. So the Americans were at an advantage here. So they knew the terrain, they knew what to do. Next, the Americans attacked the Native Americans first to limit the redcoats' ability to navigate through the thick forest. So the Native Americans of the land knew the land more than the British, and helped them, get to Albany while staying on the right path. The British offered freedom and privacy in return for the Native Americans' help. The last one. It's kind of locked. Oh, okay, here we go. So General Howe's attacked the Patriot capital located in Philadelphia instead of meeting Burgoyne in Albany as planned. So there's a map coming up on the next slide. So I'm just going to tell you guys real quick. Philadelphia is southwest, the complete opposite way of Albany. So he just flat out said, I am not following that plan. So his mindset here was it's winter soon. So he doesn't want to set up camp in open land, right? In Albany. He's going to go to a city where he can have fun, stay warm inside, in a cabin.
Mr. Durkin, have you ever been to Albany?
I have not.
Has anybody in the class ever been to Albany? You have?
Oh, really?
What's the weather like? Because I played lacrosse in Albany for 4 years, and I went to school in Albany. What's the weather like?
Well, I passed Albany, didn't station there because I passed in Niagara Falls, but it was like pretty chilly. But it was like mostly in the summertime, so it was not that chilly.
In the summer, it's okay. I'm talking winter, yeah.
For me, it was like kind of coldish.
I was in Albany as a freshman. For 5 days, the temperature didn't go above zero. It was 25 below zero every day. And when you breathe in, your whole nose freezes. So that might have been something about why General Howe didn't want to go to Albany.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. So moving on. So as you can see here, this is New York City. This is Albany. Saratoga is just directly north of Albany here. So the plan was to follow the Hudson River, which is this little blue line. And on the next page, there's a map for you guys to follow along. Yeah, right here. Hudson River coming up. So the plan was to be from St. John's, Albany, which is right here. And they moved south to Albany here. And the plan was for General Howe to move north to Albany, but instead he went to Philadelphia back there. Everyone see that? Oh, and Vermont wasn't here, by the way. This is all New Hampshire. Okay, so it's a little blurry, I understand, but the picture should be there. So this is the first. So this is the dotted line. This is his movement. He's moving along the Hudson River. But along the way, like I said before, the Americans were using guerrilla warfare. So moving through thick forests, can anyone tell me how they may block roads or anything? Yes.
They probably put in trees.
Yeah, they cut down trees, right? these large 100-foot trees they cut down to block the roads. So now that even the Native Americans were puzzled, they didn't know what to do. So about halfway, the Native Americans that were left alive said, "I'm not here anymore. This is not worth it." So they all fled. So the British were left to just follow the Hudson on their own, and it was like a 6-week mess. It was supposed to take 2 weeks, but instead it took 6 weeks. Rations were running low, and since the roads were blocked, the supplies from Canada couldn't get there. So it was just a huge mess going. So just north, the Americans, Commander George Washington sent his 2 best generals. You guys don't have to write this down, I'm just venting here. So he sent his 2 best generals, Benedict Arnold and Gates, to meet the British here. So on the first day, it was a stalemate. Neither side won any ground, but the British lost a significant amount of troops. So they knew that militia were coming from the north. They knew militia were coming from the north, so they knew they didn't have enough time. So as a last resort, General Burgoyne launched an attack, but instead Benedict Arnold saw this and defied orders and charged, screaming victory or death towards the enemy and drove them all the way back, and they retreated to Saratoga in the north. So this was the first major victory for the colonists, and eventually the militia from New Hampshire came and surrounded the army, and that was the first major surrender of the British army during the war. I'm sorry? That was during a different time period, to be honest. This was during the war, and he screamed, "Give me victory or death."
Do you guys know who Benedict Arnold is? Have you ever heard that name?
Yeah.
Because it's not such a good reputation, right?
Oh, yes.
What's he famous for? For selling out West Point. You know, he's like a famous traitor. If Michael went and said bad things about me, I could say you're Benedict Arnold, like you're going against my back. But very few people know what a hero Benedict Arnold was in the Revolution. He was willing to give up his own life to get this victory.
Exactly. Victory or death? We scream victory or death? I'm sorry, guys. Just turn to the next page. It's going to be the next few lines we're going to fill in. So, just follow along with me. General Benedict Arnold sees this and takes the opportunity by charging on horseback and yelling victory or death to encourage his troops. In quotes, victory or death, you should write in. The British surrendered under the Convention of Saratoga, where the British are allowed to return to England, but are never allowed to serve in America again. Yes. CONVENTION. Yes. The last blank space. So after the British surrendered under the blank. CONVENTION of Saratoga. It's up here. Of Saratoga.
Good question.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever happens to the Native Americans?
The ones who stayed alive deserted. They said it's not worth it because they knew the Americans were picking them off one by one instead of the redcoats. And the way they were actually able to use guerrilla warfare was because the American rifle was much more advanced, believe it or not, than the British rifle. Does anyone know why? Yep. Okay, it's more powerful. I'll think of something a little bit more specific. Bayonet. Both sides have bayonets. Alright, so the British rifle had a smooth barrel on the inside, so when the ball released, it could have gone anywhere, a number of directions. But instead, how rifles are used today, there's a little curl on the inside that spins the ball and makes it go straight. So does anyone know why quarterbacks throw football? Like how they throw football? Yep.
They go back and spin the ball.
Yeah, what's it called?
A spiral?
A spiral. Yeah, you know why? Because it's more accurate if the ball spins, right? So that's kind of how it works with the rifles. So believe it or not, yep.
Yeah, no, that's a great fact, but I just want to answer about the Native Americans, because I had a bunch of friends who were Native Americans, and I used to play with them, and they lived in Canada. But they supported the British, right? Not the Americans. They were on the British side. Why do you think they moved to Canada? You think they just thought Canada's nicer?
Because they didn't want to be defeated by the British.
Okay, I'm just gonna call on someone else. I always call on you. Yeah.
So because the Americans were south and Canada was up.
Yeah. So when America won the war, it was like they backed the wrong horse. Like they had to go to Canada. So there are 6 tribes in the Iroquois. Like the great amount of tribes are in Canada. Yeah, not in Western New York. Only the Onondaga and the Cayuga.
So the Americans, because of the barrels, were known as being great marksmen. So when the Native Americans fled, now their new targets were the British officers instead of troops. Their goal was to leave the British Army, leaderless and cause chaos among their ranks. So next, turn the page. It says, name 5 things that you have / use that protect you from the cold. Now going on to Valley Forge, we're going to talk about that in a second. So take 2 minutes to list as many things as you can that you use or have that protects you from the cold. And it's not really like a thing question, it's just like something that you have every day. We'll give you guys a minute or 2. Finish up. You don't have to write 5 things, just make things you can.
And just so we're going to have to be pretty strict about time today because of the field trip. So this ends just for you at 20 after.
Okay.
Okay, just so you know.
Yeah, it works. Alright, so we're actually going to start now. So we're going to start now. Can anyone give me something that they use / have? Yep. Okay, that works. Yeah. Washing hands. Okay. Yep.
They can come up if they want.
Okay,
No,
you
you
can
won't.
just send them right out one second.
Gloves. Okay. A hat. A scarf. Sweater. One more. Yep.
A heater.
A heater. Okay. So believe it or not, the troops in Washington's army that were stationed at Valley Forge did not have most of these things. So they were poor conditions, and these men were left to freeze in the open. Yep.
They didn't have shoes.
Yeah, they didn't have shoes or coats. Most of them.
And it's in the passage, the very beginning it said some of them who frostbite and had to be left on.
Yeah, some of them passed away. So, here we go. Follow along. Turn the page. There's going to be the Declaration of Independence page. Okay, so the founding fathers. Oh wait. Alright, so Valley Forge. The long winter led to starvation, low morale, and spread diseases. Soldiers were promised rations or were given water and flour mixed. I'm gonna show you a picture of that. It's pretty gross. Most soldiers had no shoes or coats. Around 2,000 soldiers died, but surprisingly few men deserted the army. Everything turned around when Frederick von Steuben arrived at camp. He started training the men, and a spark of hope spread through the camp. So, with all these poor conditions, why do you think the men stayed?
Because they still wanted liberty no matter what.
Yeah, they believed in liberty, believed in independence. Something else? One more? Yeah.
I mean, if someone would have died, we could just took the clothes from the ones that died.
Okay, maybe. Yeah. So, they actually believed a great deal in George Washington. They believed in what he stood for and what he did. So they had great praise in this man. So, Frederick von Steuben was a German officer in the military. He was given his rank at 18 years old. So he came to America in support of the colonists. So he pretty much kept the men busy by training them, teaching them proper hygiene, believe it or not, and just pretty much teaching them the basics of how to live. And one chef named Christopher Ludwig, he also came to the camp. He promised 135 pounds of bread if given 100 pounds of flour, which is pretty difficult. So we're going to talk about the rations. So George Washington promised his men a pint of milk, a pound of meat, a loaf of bread, some rice or vegetables, and a pound of flour a day. So that was obviously not given. So do you guys want to see this picture? It's like flour and water mix. So that's what the colonists had to eat. That's what the soldiers had to eat every single day. Yeah?
Actually, that reminds me of something that my mom makes. It's called rice with milk.
Rice with milk? Is it good?
Yeah, it's
Is it good? Alright, well, this is called fire cake, and the men start to get sick because of the lack of protein and the lack of nutrients in this mix. Alright, so we're gonna move on to the Declaration of Independence. So remember, just follow along as we go. So, how geography affected the Declaration of Independence? Does anyone want to tell me the date that it was signed, actually? Yeah.
July 4th, 1776.
Awesome. There you go. So, what month? I'm sorry. What month? What season is July in? Yep.
Like during the summer.
During the summertime. So, what problem may they have if they're inside, windows shut in the summertime? Yeah.
Maybe heated up inside.
Yeah, they're sweating. They don't want. Why are the windows closed? First of all. Yeah.
So no spy or trader could get in from the outside.
Yeah, they're trying to revolt from the government, right? So they don't want anyone to hear. They're just trying to be private. Yeah.
Didn't John Hancock write his name big? So if they found the people who wrote the Declaration of Independence, they knew that it was him because he wasn't afraid of the redcoats.
Yeah, he fell on the sword for everyone. So we're gonna move on. It was signed in Philadelphia. Why do you guys think it was signed in Philadelphia? What importance was that location? Alright, no problem. We're gonna go over that in 2 seconds. So it was in the middle of the colonies, so it was equal distance from everyone from end to end. It occurred during the summer, so everyone is able to travel safely. Alright, so do you have groups for like specific groups?
Not really.
Not really for them.
Not really?
They're-
Okay.
Yeah, I think we can just split up, that's fine.
Okay. Can we split up into groups of 2? So you two, and you can come over here if you can. Just come over here.
No, Jane, Jessica.
Yes.
This one?
Eric,
in the
Will,
summer.
John Marco, and Scott. You want
You
that?
just come over here.
Oh, no. MITGLE.
until Eric comes back, why don't you just turn around and work with the two of them, okay?
Alright, so I'm gonna give you guys a few seconds to look at this. And whoever writes down the most colonies actually gets a prize.
Where?
What are we doing?
I can't say
Oh, we've done this before, guys, you better know.
What are we doing?
it. So I'm gonna give you guys
Where in here?
On the map.
Where they belong?
on the sheet, right? This colony.
Right there, on that map, you
Yeah,
gotta
it's
write
right on
them
the
down
stage.
where they belong.
Yep. Alright, ready? 5, 4,
Yeah, memorize it, quick, quick.
3,
Wait, what?
2, 1. Ready? No? Sorry.
Oh, write them down,
Alright, write down as many as you
where
can.
they belong.
Wait, this one, right?
All of them,
Write down as many as you can.
starting here, work up.
Yeah.
Has that Grace helped you?
Jeez, what
Yes, I just do that.
I know what are the albums from Massachusetts.
Massachusetts.
No, not that.
I said, I'm not gonna.
Massachusetts.
I know it's from. It's
Parts of
from.
You keep that.
Wait, what's on top of it? Massachusetts,
Okay, well, work with the people behind you, because Eric's not that, you can work with them, I'll let it happen.
It's got my binder.
That's cheating.
It's not cheating.
Put that back.
No.
It's the paper from a different day. You two are disqualified.
I'm taking away one state from you guys as a penalty. No cheating.
I think you need a firm time limit because we got.
Who's on the floor?
Alright, 1 more minute. 1 more minute, guys.
Because we're looking at the answers.
1 more minute.
How is that cheating?
Eight,
never said you can't see
7, 56, 5, 4,
Because I don't have time.
3, 2. Hey. Oh, no.
You confused me.
Whoever has you guys count as points. So whoever has points.
Find the finish.
15, 14, 13, 12. What's going on over here? Okay. So I guess
I know them.
you know? Good job.
He doesn't know what to say.
Finish.
Yeah, you finished, right? It's not like
Yo, it's free. Yeah, no.
Got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
the bottle is richer.
This is
Five.
I think it might be better to give the prize for your
That's all.
excellence.
Oh, okay.
Because that's really important.
That's hot.
I think they know these. They
Alright, 3, 2, 1. Stop. Pencils down. Pencils down. Alright.
They were naming the columns.
How many do you guys have?
Now, hold on. Could you possibly go back to the other one so they know if they got the names in the right order? Because you have to be right, not just naming them, but getting them in the right place too.
I just want to check the
That's
cases
not
first, make
fair.
sure they don't cheat. How many of you guys have? 12. Awesome.
How many do you guys have?
How many of you guys have?
Can I have?
How many of you guys have? 5? 7. How many of you guys have?
Hey, you get it?
You're at 9.
Okay.
I got six.
You got six.
No, I think it's in this area.
Alright guys, I'm gonna check because if they're not in the right spot, it won't count. So I saw a mistake on this paper already.
Pick it up,
Oh no, check this second. So let's go back and then we can recount. So up here, don't pay attention to that. So this is what stays. No. No.
I got parts of the
No.
mass.
Very top right. What is it? Maine. There we go. That's Maine. So next, what do we got here? New Hampshire. Correct. Here? What about this little one? Rhode Island. What about this one? Connecticut. Guys, shut it out. Alright. Oh, guys gave up. Guys, if you know it, you can shout it out. What's this one? Jersey. Oh, who's that Mexico? That's not right. So, what about